Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube segment, I'm going to be talking about, really giving a tribute, you could say, eulogy, to someone by the name of Charles Sivley. He was a great man. There's not enough superlatives to describe this human being. He was a great, really just an awesome person and friend of mine. And I'm a little bit embarrassed because I didn't discover that he passed away till almost 2 years after he did. I had conducted, you could say, a search for him on Facebook recently, and when I searched his name on Facebook, it came up where I saw a post uh, connected with some services for a funeral associated with him, and I felt bad about. I mean, not only to feel bad about that, but I mean, obviously, very despondent over his passing, and the fact that what bothers me that is that he did a lot more for me than I had done for him during the time I knew him. He was like a mentor to me. He worked with me at Kmart retail store for, it was on and off for maybe about 6 years or so, 6 or 7 years. It was from 1998 to either 2004 or 2005. I'm not sure when he left Kmart. That's why I'm not sure. I can't remember the year. I'm leaning toward 2004. I think it was about 6.5 years. I worked with him on and off, and he was one of the best, if not the best colleague I could have in terms of employee. And he worked as like a department head, I believe, for some time or some. And the thing about it was, even though his tenure was a lot, greater than mine, he was, I guess you could say, he may, being, I believe he met, like I stated, he may have been a department head for some time, which is like, it could be seen as a management position. And if that was the case, what it tells me is that he was very reticent and humble human being, and he saw me and treated me like an equal, basically. And even if that wasn't the case, in terms of if he was, I can't remember if he was a department head or not, but even if he wasn't, it's just the fact that his tenure was longer, his stay, his longevity was much greater than mine at Kmart, and he would have, and for him to just see me as somebody, and then being the new kid on the block when I first arrived, to kind of help me out. I honestly, and another thing I hate to admit, I did not know what a dust mop was at the time. It was some big, wide broom, and he was explaining to me. He said, "You got to get, something about getting a dust mop one day." Uh, when we worked at Kmart, and I was a little bit perplexed and dumbfounded. And he explained it to me. Oh, okay, that's the dust mop. Okay, because it's this big, wide, long broom that I guess had kind of a mop look to it, based on the strands, with the composition of it. And I thought, and I look back on it, I could actually laugh at that. I find it humorous. It was very memorable because that was one of the first conversations I had with this person, and it's a shame there will never be anymore with him. And what made him really special to me is that, okay, you have a lot of people that exhibit a lot of superficial friendliness. A lot of people I see as holographic images where you could see their transparency, you could see right through their facade, and the fact that a lot of this friendliness they project is really phony. But I knew his was real strongly because of his actions. When you have somebody that expresses benevolence and kindness through their actions, and they're happy and they're smiling a lot, you know at that point it's real. That's where you have the evidence to show that this person is genuinely kind and friendly. He loaned me his whatever the current issue at the time the Baseball Digest was. He loaned it to me numerous times. He was a very benevolent, philanthropic person. He struck me as somebody. I mean, if a customer was in need, he wouldn't be the kind of person to make excuses or procrastinate in terms of helping him. He would be Johnny on the spot, one of the first people that would be willing to help the customer in need if the time arose. And those are the kind of people that are really like these, like a once in a lifetime people. it's very important for us to cherish those people during the time when they're alive and appreciate them. Sadly, a lot of us aren't always cognizant of what these people have done for us until the time of their passing. So it's imperative that we have to understand people, that the people that show us the compassion and kindness, to truly appreciate them during the time when they're alive, because we never know when that time is. And I wish I could have said goodbye to him, and it was at a, at some point, shortly before his passing. The last time I had spoke with him was actually like around 2008, I believe it was, and he passed away. I think it was October of 2018. Again, not to be overly redundant, but the thing is that I wasn't even cognizant of his passing until almost 2 years after it happened, and it's a shame that that had to taken place. But I'm just being, speaking the truth here. And again, what it comes down to is when these people, again, I do believe he was in some kind of authority position there, because I think he may have been like the head of the replenishment crew, the night stock crew, and he took me, and again, he saw me like, like an equal to him, even though I was in a subordinate position for most of my time at Kmart, with the exception of a very short tenure that I had as a department head there in electronics. And I'll just sum it up, that it just simply didn't work out. I was bombarded and inundated with a lot of things right away, and they just kind of threw me into in there without really training me that extensively. But that's another story. I'm going off on a little bit of a Gemini tangent here. But the thing about it is, people, is that we really, I mean, we have, again, we have to understand, when we have people that are special like this in our lives, that show benevolence, that show kindness and compassion and selflessness, that we can't undermine or undervalue what their worth is. And he was just one of those people. Yeah, it was very special. He served in the Vietnam War. I believe he was wounded, and he got some kind of Purple Heart. I guess it's like some kind of badge for fortitude and courage. And he was a person, again, that would really help out the other players, the other people at Kmart when needed. He was the kind of person that you would say would be the consummate team player, so to speak, in terms of what his role was, how he acted as an employee at Kmart. He was very professional. He wasn't the type to really say, hardly any derogatory or derisive things about anyone. And really, I can't remember when somebody had something really that negative to say about him, maybe in jest, but nothing where it was really anything overly, derogatory or negative. Because when you're a nice person, and you exhibit a lot of good qualities, you often will not have too many derogatory remarks about you that are stated. And the thing is, occasionally you do get people that will say negative things, a lot of times out of jealousy. But it's certainly, I don't even remember that, though. Anything, even those kind of comments did not. I did not hear of anything like that connected with him, because he was just that kind of person. And when you don't hear anything negative about a person, that speaks a lot right there, and that just very telling of the kind of person that this awesome human being was. And it just a shame. I had looked it up. There was something on his I guess it was on some post that he had passed away, and it was connected with some Woodbine, Tennessee funeral website. It was a funeral website for some. I guess you could say it was like some company that, it's a funeral company or what have you. And there really weren't many people that had signed the guest book on it, and I was a little bit surprised by this, because somebody that was such a great person like himself, I thought it did him a little injustice not having as many signatures on it and write-ups on him. And I think I wanted to do this to eulogize him and pay tribute to him, because I think he deserved it. It's very belated, of course. It wasn't because I procrastinated. It was honestly because I did not find this out until very recently. His passing, and I was really sad, teary-eyed by the whole thing. I mean, I'm not one to exhibit an overabundance of emotion, but this was something that did hit me, and it's because what it is what touches me with people like him again is that when somebody's very real and I see their friendliness, their kindness as very ingenuous and very authentic, that's what I see as a special person. You know, those are some of the qualities I see that makes up a person that is very special, and he was. And the thing about it is, he may be gone, but surely not forgotten, and there never will be another Chuck Sibley, at least not one like him. If somebody's got the same name, but they won't have the same heart and personality, what have you, as he did. I doubt it very much. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.